Alright, so welcome to Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. This is the 2019 remake of the game. I'm some random NPC, and yeah, I guess let's get this started. Need to restart the game. So, alright, so let's get this going. Okay. So, for timing, I'll count us in.
Awesome.
Um, okay, so to begin with here, we kind of need to launch the game and then start the actual game on specific timings just so we can get a particular seed. This will affect the Dungeons 4 and the Windfish later in the game. So I'll explain that as we get to them. Alright, so 3, 2, 1, go. Ah, heck. That was not good. Okay, I probably messed that up. Actually, I probably really did mess that up badly. I hope that didn't really mess up the RNG later. But we'll go with it and figure it out later. Alright, so, Link's Awakening. Again, as I said, this is the remake of the old GBA game? No, Game Boy game. I don't remember which one it was on. But yeah, this is the 2019 remake on the Switch. Link, I think this where in the timeline does this sit?
This is real-time fact-checking the remake of the 1993 Game Boy game.
1993 Game Boy, right. Okay, so, I don't remember exactly where in the timeline this sits, but, Link has entered a dream world here, and now has, just got to get out of here. That was the owl. He's going to be popping in and out of the game at a bunch of spots. It's really annoying because it's just unskippable cutscenes. Not that this game has skippable cutscenes, but alright. So now that we've got our sword and shield back, we can make our way off to get the first key.
So what do keys do for us?
So the keys essentially open up the dungeons, and our friend the owl is back. Mash through his text. So yeah, each of the 8 dungeons have keys to unlock them, well, open them. And we are off to get the first one. So, in here, need to come through this cave. I don't know what's wrong with my controller. Okay. So, grab this. Mushrooms? With this mushroom, we can go turn it over to the witch. Make some magic powder. Okay, gonna grab grab this chest here, which is some rupees. I'll need that shortly. Get those guys out the way, so off towards the witch. Turn this mushroom into some magic powder.
There's probably a joke to be made here about don't do mushrooms.
Yep, yeah. I was gonna kind of make that, but not sure if it's appropriate. Wasn't sure if it was correctly appropriate or not.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, mushroom turns into... Okay, that guy was not in a good spot, but whatever. Yeah, mushroom turns into powder, we come back into the forest. That guy can get out the way. Through here. Use the powder on this tanuki from the top. That way, hopefully he won't get in our way when, yep, it will land on the, so, Taran will land in on the right there, because for some reason Taran got turned into a tanuki. I didn't explain that. I don't know why he got turned into a tanuki either, but, yeah, Taran got turned into a tanuki. If you try to progress past there before getting the magic powder and using it on him, it just resets the room and you can't get past there to get to the key. So, use the magic powder on Taran there so that he turns back into Taran and, oh, go away. So we can then get the key, our friend returns, and then we can go back to the village. And now, so we're not going to head straight to Dungeon 1. We've got a couple of things we need to do first. First thing here is to play the trendy game, or it's just a giant crane game. And our goal here is to grab this Yoshi. Because what's a Nintendo franchise without putting other franchises into it?
You got to get that cross promotion in.
Yep, okay, great. We got Yoshi on the first time. This crane game can be pretty annoying at times. Like every other crane games, like real life crane games actually, sometimes the Yoshi will just completely drop out of the crane, even though you've got a great connection on it. So we're going to go into the shop now, and so the game doesn't have a incentive for a name. This is the reason why. We're going to steal the shovel and we're going to steal the bow. Doing so changes the name from whatever you've put it into to thief, and you cannot change it. So that's why there's no name incentive for this game, because it gets immediately changed to thief. So we steal the shovel and the bow, and we'll come back there and steal more stuff later. Now we have to come up here. So that Yoshi we got is part of a giant fetch quest in the whole game. So a trade sequence. So we're trading the Yoshi doll to this lady here for a bow. And we're about to go trade the bow. So we come down here. And we'll give this mini chain chomp here the bow. And it will give us some dog food. And we'll trade the dog food a bit later, but right now we're going to Dungeon 1.
Might just take this moment to say who the hell we are while you run over to Dungeon 1, if that's okay.
Alright.
We are Oz Speedruns. We do speedrunning events to raise money for charity. For ASM 2021, we're raising money for Beyond Blue, a charity promoting good mental health through raising the awareness and reducing the stigma around mental health issues. If you'd like to donate, you can go to donate.ozspeedruns.com, or there'll be a link in chat. When you are donating, don't forget to put your money towards some of our fabulous incentives, such as the Echo Junior character choice, the Silent Hill 2 ending, the Hades Super Boss fight, or the Fantasy Zone bonus game incentives, as well as many other wonderful incentives that we have coming up.
So, this is Dungeon 1. Not really much to say at the start here. It's generally a bit of walking around, getting keys.
So are the dungeons sort of a fixed spawn? Are they random? I'm not overly familiar with this.
So everything in the game is pretty much fixed. Movements will be random, but spawns will be completely fixed.
Right, and the room layouts are fixed as well.
Yeah, yeah. Except for one thing, which is the which was added into this game. So that's the Dampe's dungeons. Part of that is that you grab tiles and then you kind of make your own dungeons, and so that is always random. So right there we've just gotten the feather that allows us to now jump.
Nice.
And put that on Y. Okay, so grab the key there, and we'll grab another key here. Okay, so get that key so we can unlock this. Movement wise, it's always faster to jump upstairs, but going downstairs, it's faster to just walk downstairs as normal.
Now I'm looking at these dungeons and I see a lot of pits in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Are these ground pits just kill you ground pits, or are they like Pokemon dungeon pits where if you fall down them you just fall to a lower level?
So some places, so most places it's fall down and you lose health. I don't need that. I slashed at that trap there to just give myself a little boost there. But yeah, most places are fall down and lose damage, lose health. In Mordorm's spot itself, it's fall down and land in a lower area.
Right.
Okay. But
And this is Mordorm.
yes, this is Mordorm. This is the first boss. What's a Zelda game without Mordorms? Our friendly burger boss. But yeah, 2 spin slashes for Mordorm and it's dead. And we can now get our first wind instrument. And that's the end of Dungeon 1.
Nice. And we got a heart container for our troubles.
Yes, a heart container for our troubles. I'll be picking up most heart containers. Generally, you can skip them because they're not compulsory to pick up. So that's a good thing in that if you're confident in the game, in playing the game, you don't have to pick up the heart containers, um, you just have less health to play with. So, me being me, I'll pick up the heart containers. That way I've got a bit more safety in the run later.
Yeah, always a good idea to get a bit of marathon safety in.
Yeah. Our friend comes back, and we'll quickly go through all his text. We can make our way back to the beach, where we shall trade off that dog food that we got earlier. Alright, so this Gator Boy, he likes canned food and will eat the whole food with the can, just like that. For that, he will give us some bananas. Again, we'll trade these on later, and that will be a little bit later, so not too far from now, but still one dungeon away. Yeah, one more dungeon away. Alright, so now we need to make our way back to the village. And those two kids are not happy. What's going on? So, that lady's not happy, and Bow Wow's missing. So, we need to go rescue Bow Wow. Bow Wow was the giant chain chomp that was sitting outside that lady's house before, on the right. But now he got kidnapped by moblins. So we're going to leave out here. We're going to jump around this heart piece, because we don't want to pick up the heart piece, and make our way into here, which is the Moblin's hideout.
I assume we don't want to pick up the heart piece because it'll play an animation and it's just slower? Like,
Yes.
what's the
Yeah.
reasoning?
So, the heart pieces are essentially completely useless to get. They play an animation. And, okay, that was not good. Let's get this down. Okay. Not the best of what I've done for the Moblin King, but I'll grab that fairy. Okay. But yeah, heart pieces play an animation, and we don't go past enough of them to actually get a heart container out of it, so there's no point in grabbing them. I will grab one later, but that's for a refill. Okay, so now that we've gotten Bow Wow, we can make our way over to the next dungeon. I think this is the only dungeon without a key, because we have to get Bow Wow instead. Bow Wow, you could have eaten that guy earlier. Okay. When you do have Bow Wow, he will hover over spots and froth like that before. There are little collectibles in this game where you can dig them up, where you can get, can't remember what you get out of them, but get out of the way, Bow Wow. Okay. Alright. But he'll basically tell you the spots of those little collectibles that you can get. This is Dungeon 2 now, so... okay. Generally, one spin slash is enough to kill those guys, but I didn't do that very well. Now, what can I say about Dungeon 2? Don't know what to say about Dungeon 2 so far.
If you've got nothing to say, I'll just ask you some questions. We can
Cool.
just have some banter, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the category, right? And you're running any percent glitchless,
Oh,
which
yeah.
by its nature implies the existence of an any percent glitched.
Yes.
So, if you can speak to it, what are the glitches in this game, and why don't we do them?
Okay, so those two, so I can get parts. The glitched categories in this, there's, okay, I jumped too early there. There's a pretty big glitch called a Hinox jump. In a couple of the dungeons, it can basically send you from the Hinox battle that's within it, well, one of these guys, and it can pretty much send you to much further in the game, and it'll pretty much put you out of bounds for a bit. There's also out of bounds on the overworld, where you can get into Dungeon 4 early. You can get up Death Mountain early. So,
Right.
yeah, it basically...
So quite a lot of the game you can skip by doing these Hinox jumps.
Pretty much. Well, the Hinox jumps are in dungeons, but outside of the dungeons, you're kind of using bombs and the foxes that were in the village to
Yep.
to glitch your way through. So let's grab that.
So do you just run this category, or do you
Yeah.
dabble in other categories?
No, I only run the glitchless because I'm not really that great at the glitched the glitched bits.
Fair enough.
Alright, so
I'm always partial to any percent myself because it just feels like a more, from a sort of philosophical take of what speedrunning is, right? Start
Yeah.
the game, get to the end. I've always been partial to sort of any percent categories over, let's just skip half the game.
pretty much, yeah. In this room in particular, I needed to kill those 3 enemies in order, otherwise the game will give you a nice denial sound, and you have to restart the room.
Okay, so that forms part of the puzzle of the room.
Pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, so it was the little bunny guy first, and then the Keese, and then the skull spear guy that you need to kill in order.
So for the casual player, is there any indication of what the order is, or are you just expected to fail it until you learn it?
I don't think there is any indication of telling you what the order is.
Quality game design.
Yeah, but it will tell you if you got it wrong. So,
Yeah.
or at least I don't remember if there's any indication. Anyway, here's our next boss, Genie. He likes to hide in his pot. He will also throw fireballs at us, but those fireballs are easily dodged. So he'll throw 8 fireballs. All I need to do is sidestep them. And then go up here and whack his pot. And then we pick it up, throw against the wall, and repeat that 2 more times? 2 more times? Yeah. Alright, so... as you move around the room, he will like move opposite to you. So, and then this is phase 2. He'll spin around in circles. You can tell which is the real one, because it's the furthest away. I like to use the top wall to figure it out. Okay, and that's Genie down.
GG's.
Another dungeon down. We'll grab our heart container.
You said there was 8 dungeons, right? So we're
Yep.
down 2 dungeons. We're just
Yep.
cruising through this game.
Yeah, pretty much. So here's our second instrument. It's the conch horn.
Right. So what do instruments do? Is it like a oh, what was the one? Ocarina of Time or whatever, where you can play the instrument to do things?
No, the instruments are used to wake up the windfish at the end. So it's more, they're more of like the insect. If we use Ocarina of Time as an example again, it's more like the medallions and the collection of the princesses. Lift that rock to grab that warp point. We'll need that one in particular later. And we'll make our way back to the village now.
So what's the sort of structure of this game? We seem to be coming back to the village a lot. Is it sort of hub, get some missions, go on some quests, and come back?
Not
Are
really.
there other primary areas? Like, are we going to keep coming back to this village, or?
There'll be a couple other times that we come back here. But no, it's more of explore, find the dungeons, clear the dungeons, and then get to the windfish. We've made our way back to the shop though. We're here to steal more things. So we're going to buy 3 bombs first, 3 sets of bombs. And then we're going to steal these arrows. Okay, he caught me. Look up that way again. Bow wow, you're in the way. Okay, there we go. And that should be it with the shop for now. We can go return Bow Wow now.
You'd think that the shopkeeper would do something about all these rampant thefts that keep happening in the shop.
That's right, he's got his power. He can shoot lightning from his bench and take down any thief.
Which seems pretty powerful. Maybe he should be the one going out and clearing dungeons while Link takes a nap, you know?
Yeah, he can have some fun with Marin.
The Legend of Zelda, Link gets a part-time job.
Alright, we'll activate that one, and now we can head over this way. Equip my bomb and arrows. And we can use the bomb. We can use the arrows to fire bombs as bomb arrows, which comes very handily. And it's not really something that's explained in the game. But yeah, you can use your bombs, fire an arrow at them, and they'll go flying. This is Kiki. We're going to give him bananas, and he's going to build us a bridge. This is the end of the trade quest that we're going to complete for the speedrun. Kiki will leave a stick here, and before you went past a tree that had a beehive, you can use that stick to get the honey off of that, and then I don't remember where you trade it from after that.
Right. So you could say he built a bridge and we went over it.
Yeah. Built a bridge, we went over it. So this is like every other Zelda game. We've got your castle, which has been abandoned and taken over by the evil people.
Who are the evil people in this game? I assume it's Ganon, because Zelda.
To be honest, I don't really know who the evil people are. We also just blew up that crow. Fired a bomb arrow right into the tree. But yeah, because this is a dream world, there's no real major antagonists besides the dream people wanting to keep you here.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So we're just going to collect these golden leaves. We're gonna need these to go grab our next key. And we're getting them before we're actually meeting the guy that we're meant to collect them for, because the one who says he needs them back tells us to go to this castle to collect the leaves. But we're just gonna go grab them first and then go see him. Change back to my feather here. So we need 5 of them all up. There's one with that ball and chain guard in here. Need to use a pot to break open that door. Okay.
So I might take a second and read out a donation we've got, if that's okay.
Sure.
So we have $25 from Tomain, who says, shout out to my speedrunning / FGC buddy Thrills. Put this donation towards Fantasy Zone because more game. Thank you, Tomain, for your donation. Which is a good reminder to everyone that we are here today raising money for Beyond Blue. We are Oz Speedruns. We do these speedrunning events regularly to raise money for various things. Beyond Blue is a great charity that is raising awareness of mental health issues and reducing the stigma surrounding them. Currently, our donation total is $7,570, which is an amazing total. It blows my mind, the generosity of the community. But we need just a little bit more help if we want to see some incentives that are coming up, such as more games like the Fantasy Zone game that donation went towards, and other bonus games such as adding a bonus new game plus co-op deadlocked run, or the world's hardest game. So make sure you get your donations in.
Alright, so here's our friend that wants the leaves. We've got them ready, so he's just going to get out of our way and let us go into his backyard. Walk past these guys. Alright, so now this is a maze of weeds, pitfalls, and if I'm not careful enough, I will just fall down. And there's our next key, the slime key. Okay. And here we are unlocking our next, the third dungeon. Okay.
Now, it was dungeon number 4 that we were setting the seed for, right?
Yes. I'll explain that.
Yeah, when
as
we get to it.
Now, walking through the long grass is slow, which is why I've been jumping and slashing. Jumping in itself is a tiny bit faster than just walking through the grass and then slashing the grass as we jump. Will just speed up the walking speed as well, instead of having to walk through the longer grass.
Yeah, so I've noticed that Link has a couple of different sort of slashing moves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing the different moves do different amounts of damage on enemies.
Yeah, so...
Such as the quick slash versus the sort of long, spinny slash.
Yeah, so, with every other, Zelda game, a spin slash will be a bit more powerful than, just a regular slash. But it's not always the best to do a spin slash, depending on situations.
Yeah, of course.
So, as the name of the dungeon implies, it's, there's a lot of slimes in this dungeon.
Mm.
Kill these guys, grab another key. We'll come back to those guys. Need a... Oh, these red slimes are annoying. Because they'll jump onto you and attach onto you. Here's a mini-boss. These guys like their bombs. And... didn't put that in the right spot. Turn left. Okay. Alright, 3 bombs each and they'll die. They take, after they explode once, they'll take 4 movements and then you can feed them their next bomb. And here's our main item for this dungeon, Pegasus boots. We can now go fast. Need them to get through those little jelly things there. Break through that wall, jump over that gap. Now that we've got the Pegasus boot, up, jump there. Grab ourselves the nightmare key, and need to go grab one more.
So because the Pegasus boots make you run faster, do they form a sort of integral part of the tech of this game, or will we not be seeing all that much of them?
No, we'll definitely be seeing the Pegasus boots a lot. Okay, that bomb didn't explode the other ones, but whatever. Key, and then we'll load the autosave to get back to the start of the dungeon. Go to the left here. Okay, that's not happened often. Generally you'd go straight through that that warpy thing and kill it, but somehow I went around it and let it kill itself, so that wasn't exactly what I planned, but I guess it worked. Okay, that was what I was meant to do in Dungeon 2 with those other guys, but... Alright, those 300 rupees we'll need for later, so we're gonna reload the save here, and this time we'll take the warp to where the mini-boss was. Red slimes, go away. Okay. Alright, with those parrots, because they teleport when you get close to them, the Pegasus boots allow us to to actually kill them by getting close to them. And this is why we've been having to pick up keys. These. Oh yeah. Link's Awakening is a mix between kind of like Zelda 2 and A Link to the Past, where you've got these 2D sections. I didn't mention that before, and I completely forgot to mention it. But yeah, within the dungeons, there's these 2D sections where you go down into, and they play a bit like Zelda 2 in a sense. Here's our next boss, Slime Eye. We need to bonk into the wall to actually get him to appear, and then we need to poke his eye 3 times to spread him apart, and then dash down the middle.
You're gonna love when a boss has a very obvious weak point, right?
Yeah.
What bit of the slime eye do you hit? The eye.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then some more slashes into the eye, and we can get rid of both slime eyes. If you don't realize to bonk into the wall at the start, it will start sending down some of the green slimes, and you just have to take those out. But it doesn't really tell you to bonk into the wall. But yeah, that's our 3rd dungeon down. We've got the bell, and if there's anything that we need to announce at the moment, we can get that while the cutscene plays.
Sure, I'll just take this moment to remind everyone of who we are. We are Oz Speedruns, a group doing speedrun events to raise money for charity. This event, we're raising money for Beyond Blue, a charity working to raise the awareness of mental health issues and reduce the stigma around mental health issues to help people achieve their best possible mental health. If you'd like to donate, go to donate.ozspeedruns.com. There will be a link in the chat in a moment. And again, I'd like to just shout out and say that if you're out there right now and you're having a hard time, because it is a hard time, reach out to someone. There's always help. There'll always be someone that you can find to help. And Beyond Blue is a great place to start that journey to find help. So yeah, we can go back to talking about the run now.
Alright, so our friend the owl visited us again after that. And now we get to move on again. Dash around here. We opened up that teleport spot for later. And we'll come and get to these stairs so we can cross over that little river section by going under it. We can now make our way to the animal village. We won't be here for too long in the first instance, because this guy is in our way, so we need to go back to the village and go find Marin.
Right. Back to the village once again.
Yep, so this time we have a teleport that we can make use of, so
That's convenient.
come back to the village, but we won't be going to get Marin straight away. Nope, jumped too early. Okay, we're gonna go into this little hut here and take a nap.
Nat percent.
Yep. So now we're in a dream within a dream. And we're going to go grab the ocarina.
Right. Got a bit of inception going on with our nested dreams.
Yep. Because you have to be in a dream to get this ocarina. Don't know why it stays in physical form once you come out of your dream, but don't let your dreams stay dreams, I guess.
Yeah, don't let your dreams be memes, or
Yeah.
however it goes.
Yep. Anyway, we've got our ocarina now, so we can go get Marin. Dash down here, but she's not in the village, so we can go find her. She's on the beach. I bonked again.
I imagine it's very easy to bonk with these Pegasus boots.
Yeah. There'll be one dungeon later on where I might bonk a lot, mainly because I can't tell where the crystals will bonk you from. This
Right.
cutscene with Marin is really long. If I don't hit yes at the end, it will replay itself.
Lovely.
Yeah. So, I need to make sure that I tell her that I am listening to her.
Wait, they have a long rambly cutscene that you would half expect people to mash through, and then they ask you to confirm that you did listen?
Yep.
Cheeky.
Mm-hmm. Listening to me? Yes. Okay.
Good job, you did the tech.
Yep.
Menu item percent, here we go.
And now we get Marin as a item question? She follows us for a bit. This always interests me. Link requires the Pegasus boots and a feather to jump over those 3 holes. Marin just jumps straight over it. Doesn't need anything.
Legs of steel, my man. Legs of steel.
Yeah. Marin's just the boss. Alright. Now with Marin, we can go wake up the walrus.
I'll take the time to ask you, how'd you get into this game?
I guess I never got the chance to play Link's Awakening, and I like 2D Zeldas a lot, so, given that I speedrun Link to the Past a lot. When Awakening got the remake, I was just like, I'll play this first and then see how much I like it. Like it a lot, so let's try speedrunning it.
So casually, you reckon it's also a good game as well as a decent speed game?
Yeah.
That's good to know. Always good to hear a glowing recommendation.
And
It's easy for runners after, playing the same game for hundreds or thousands of hours to sort of come to loathe their own speed
that
games.
pushed me out. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. And bombs. Go from there.
I'm guessing this is a boss fight.
Yeah, this is a mini boss to get another key. Lamola is another returning boss from games. Generally it's 2 bomb arrows and then 2 spin slashes. I did the second bomb arrow before, but it pushed me out. The recoil pushed me out of the area, so it restarted the fight and wouldn't let me get back into the area until the Lamola disappeared, which is annoying.
Very much so.
Yeah, now that we've got our key, our friend is back to annoy us for a very short cutscene. I'll grab some of these hearts, I think. And then
Yeah, better to play it safe.
Get to talk to Marin again, who will teach us the Song of Ballads. But this tune is really nice.
I'll take your word for it. I can't actually hear the game audio.
Ah, that's a shame. I need to hit yes there, otherwise she'll go into a long ramble again. And she tells us not to forget her. Isn't that sweet?
How could we ever forget her and her ability to jump massive gaps?
So here we want to go to Dampe. And we're going to go open up Dungeon 4. Okay. This is one of the spots where you kind of glitch to get down there. You'd bring over, I think, one of the foxes from the village, bring him all the way down here somehow, and then you'd use a bomb to clip yourself into that fish statue, and then you can just go over the edge.
Right.
It's very interesting to watch, especially watching to get the fox there. Okay, through this cave. That key sniped me.
Oh. Aimbotting through the wall. Hacks. Report him to Nintendo.
Okay. Let's go down to 4. Just casually jump off a cliff.
It's not like our legs will break or anything.
Nah. Can ignore these enemies and grab these bombs.
So this is Dungeon 4, right?
Yes, this is Dungeon 4. So we're not going to complete Dungeon 4 in its entirety to start with. We're going to come back here a second time.
Ooh, revisit.
Yeah. So the problem with Dungeon 4 is that once you complete it, you get this annoying ghost which starts following you. And you can't enter any dungeons until you get rid of it. So
Right.
we have to split this one up into 2, which actually is really useful in the end. So get rid of you.
Is that sort of the intended way to do it, or are we doing speedrunning shenanigans?
No, the intended way is to complete Dungeon 4 and then do the ghost stuff and then continue on.
Right. So other than the ghost, I'm guessing Dungeon 4 gives us another musical item, or?
Yep. So each dungeon will give us a musical item. We need all 8 of them to open up the windfish.
Yep.
Okay, I just didn't jump there. I did not want an acorn. Those drops happen after you kill a certain amount of enemies. We generally don't want to pick them up because they play a lengthy animation. But sometimes they're useful. Well, the defensive one is never really useful, but the attacking one is useful in situations against bosses. Okay. So this puzzle here is one of the things that we manipulate from the beginning. So top right. Actually, that might be good. That's actually... Because we've got a mini-boss here, so an attacking one is actually really useful. We can trap this guy in the corner, and then slash. Ow. Okay.
I love the googly eyes on this guy.
Okay. Yeah, usually you want to trap him in that bottom left-hand corner, and then just keep slashing so he spins in the circle. But yeah, we can ignore that whole puzzle and just run straight through it. Skip these guys and grab our flippers.
I love when you can just ignore a puzzle like that.
Yep. And we'll load the autosave and leave.
Now, what do the flippers give us? I'm going to assume faster travel in water.
Nope, they allow us to swim.
Ah.
Because before you'd just sink and lose health, but now we can swim. And because we've got the ocarina, we can learn Mumbo's Mumbo.
That sounds amazing.
Yep. Okay, so that's song number 2 of 3 in this game. So Mumbo's Mumbo allows us to teleport to any of the teleport points that we've opened up before. So now we want to go back down to Animal Village. And we're off to go grab another key.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say that this other key is in a dungeon.
Not exactly.
Oh no, we need the key to get to the dungeons, right?
Well, yes. I did not mean to go down those stairs. Okay.
I don't know if it's blatantly obvious, but I've only ever played Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Yeah, we need the... each key is in separate spots to their respective dungeons.
Yep.
And yeah, they're required to open them up. So we'll make our way down to the face shrine to go fight another mini boss.
Now, chat, I have to say, has been admiring just how good looking this game is. And I do have to say, this is a very good looking game.
Yeah, the remake has really done it well, in my opinion. Like the chibi style that the game is just really nice to look at.
Yeah, it really sort of suits it, the sort of chibi cell shaded animation style. And the best bit about this kind of art style is that it ages amazingly well, right? Like, this game looked good when it came out in 2019, and I'd bet that this game will look good in 10 years' time.
Not fighting this guy very well. Okay. That was not great. Let's try that again.
So this guy's shtick is that he jumps and lands on top of you.
Yeah. If you're on the ground as he lands, he knocks you over.
Right. Hence why you keep jumping.
Yep. Okay, that's better.
I'm guessing that's another example of where the sort of spin slashes are better if you can get them in.
Yeah, so I don't remember if that boss actually can take damage from regular slashes, but yes. I think a faster strat uses arrows to take it down. We're going to go over to D5 here. D5 is another dungeon that doesn't actually have a key.
Right.
It more requires you to have gone through D4 first, because you need the flippers to get through, to actually access it. Because we need to go through this underwater bit here, and we can access this fish head in the water.
There's definitely some real fish theming going on in this game.
So we need to take out all the enemies in this room. This guy would behave, and thank you. Okay. Skip over that by jumping all over it. This might be dangerous. Let's grab those hearts. Okay, grab this key. And we can reload the save. So we're going to be reloading the autosave in this dungeon a bit. Just so I can reset us back to the start. This was the section where I set up bonk a little. These crystals are a little bit of a pain to get through.
Yeah, they look like they're painful to navigate around.
Bombs. And here's our mini boss for the dungeon. Skull and Bones, he takes damage from bombs. We need to bomb 3 times after we've knocked him down. So generally want to hit him, let the bomb explode, and then we wait on the other side of the explosion and place a bomb as soon as it explodes.
Right.
We have to fight him 4 times.
That's a lot of times. I thought classic game design was you only did things 3 times. 4, like such a rip-off.
So here's fight number 2, as indicated by the blue squares in the top corner.
Ah. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say the next fight is gonna have 3 squares.
We'll see.
Prediction on if I'm right.
Okay. Now, I need to grab bombs, so let's jump in here. Grab those. Dash up here. We need to kill all enemies to open that door. I might go grab that heart. Because here's fight number 3, and there's 3 dots. Okay.
There is 3 dots. I was right.
All
If
right.
in chat you thought there wouldn't be 3 dots, you owe the charity $5.
We're gonna reload this autosave because, contrary to what you may think, oh, you are in the way. Get out of the way.
Yeah, that autosave tech is really interesting. That you can load the autosave, but it remembers partial completion of the dungeon, right?
Yeah, so the game autosaves, once you pass something major, in a sense, if you pick up a item or defeat a boss.
Yep. Aha, 4 squares. Right, and the autosave you said places you back at the start of the dungeon.
Yeah, so in the dungeon, it will place you, if you load an autosave within a dungeon, it will place you back at the start.
Right. I assume that's so that players don't get stuck, like, in the middle of the dungeon.
Yeah, yeah. If you need to make an emergency exit or whatnot, and don't want to die. So defeating that boss gives us the hook shot.
Nice.
And like every other Zelda game, the hook shot is extremely useful. So we're going to come up through here, jump over those. Hopefully that enemy doesn't get in our way too much. And dive down in that hole. Want that. Okay. Equip that. Hookshot diagonally to save running around. Get the nightmare key. And we'll load the autosave again.
Right.
Okay, those crystals were nice today. This time we'll go straight ahead into here. Get a heart drop, that's fine. So this is going to be one of the only one of the few sequence breaks you can do in this game without glitches. We can hookshot across that gap diagonally and just grab that that block up the top there. That saves us having to find another key, making our way around the dungeon again, and yeah. It's not too hard to set up, because Link's moving in the four cardinal directions as well as the 4 diagonal directions. If you jump and then shift slightly, you can move slightly off of the diagonal.
Right.
And so you can hook shot, not directly diagonally, and that allows us to get onto that block rather than that block ahead of it. This is the boss slime eel. They like the word slime. We need to hookshot the guy coming out of the wall. There is a fake one as well that if you hookshot it, it'll bring out this little enemy that will bounce around for a bit. So you need to make sure not to hookshot that guy. It is, as far as I know, RNG, which of the 4 holes will come out of. I like to just align myself on the left-hand side and stay on the left. Just that way I can grab the heart container and then move towards the door instead of having to go to the heart container and then to the door. But yeah, that's the slime eel.
Wait, is this game telling me that wind chimes are a musical instrument?
I don't know if that's wind chimes or if that's like a what are those, xylophones?
It looks like a xylophone with wind chimes hanging off the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Never seen one of those before, ever.
Okay, so we're going to now teleport just up here.
Now,
And-
in chat, we're having a bit of a debate, and you might want to weigh in on this.
Yeah.
What Legend of Zelda game do you think is the best one of all time?
Link to the Past.
Right.
Hands down.
There was no hesitation there. You were just go.
Yep.
What do you like so much about that specific game?
Dungeon design, like it just tells you that that you have to do this to progress from here. It tells you that it teaches, especially the start in the castle, it teaches you that the enemies can have items needed. Items can be hidden behind doors that require enemies to be defeated as well. So like it just teaches you, and it's just such a really good game.
Okay. Let's flip that question on its head then. What's the worst Legend of Zelda game? And you can just be like CDI, right? And just, take your pick.
We never really thought of that.
Because every franchise has its winners and its less winners.
Yeah.
even if the bar is super high.
I've never thought about the worst game. I've never played the CDIs, so...
Fair, the
I
CDI is a
not.
difficult platform to get a hold of.
Didn't have my feather equipped, so... Can I still make that? Yes, okay. Let's see, I need to equip that. Cool. That Moldorm stayed nicely to the right, so I can just get rid of it with the one bomb arrow. Those wizards that pop up are really annoying. But yeah, back to that question from before. I guess without having played the CDI games, I can't really say too much of them. But having seen some of them, yeah, they're not.
They're funny to look at, right?
Yeah, but I don't know about their gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah. And gameplay is such an integral part of these games, right? Like,
Yeah.
having only played Breath of the Wild, a huge part of the experience of that game is just playing the game, right? Like, it's one thing to watch someone else play it, and it's another thing to play it yourself.
Pretty much, yeah.
I imagine it's probably the same with this game too, right? That, like, you should really get out and play it, I guess. It's great. I'm plugging games that I've never even played.
Did I grab that key? I did grab that key, okay. Got hit at the same time, so I didn't realize. Alright. Load autosave, and we'll move to the right side of the dungeon. Tile rooms. They're slow, because you can slash at the tiles and just break them on the spot, so it's basically just a waiting room.
Right. Now, while we have a second, while we're waiting, we have $5 from Anonymous, who said, I thought there'd be 5 dots. Owing back to that previous dungeon where we were counting dots on the floor. So thank you Anonymous for owning up to thinking there might be 5. So I'm guessing we're on to the boss of this dungeon, or is this another
this
mini
is
boss?
a mini boss. I need to... So I need to grab this ball and throw it back at him.
So you're playing dodgeball?
Yeah. So you can grab the ball entering the room before the guy grabs it. I have never been able to do it, but Apparently it's possible.
Fair. We'll just say it's a Taz only strat, and,
Yeah.
and chat won't know any different. You just own these things, right?
Yeah. I didn't get the bomb. There we go. Okay. Some arrows back, and we can go get ourselves another key.
So I'm guessing because we sort of stole everything from the shop, there isn't really like a money route or anything in this game. We don't care about rupees at all.
Not really. There's only a couple of things that you need rupees for. So one is to get the Yoshi at the start. The next is to get the 30 bombs. And
Yep.
then the third will be later on, but we don't need to worry about getting rupees for that one. Because we pick up that 300 in, what was it, Dungeon 2? Yeah, in Dungeon
Yep.
2. Another tile room. This one's even larger, so it's slower. And I have to walk around to break the tiles. Gets us a key, and we can go upwards. Need this elephant to open that door. And we can... Didn't know the pot breaks if the knight is sitting on top of me.
Right.
Back in these 2D sections, we can just run past those guys. These ear mousy things will die in one hit if you play the Marin's tune.
Right.
Bombs. And we've got these guys again, but now with holes in the ground. Okay, that was a lot easier than last time.
Yeah, these moved in a really interesting pattern.
Yeah, they'll generally move in one direction. This chest here, you need to throw a pot at it. If you try to open it normally, it will just shut itself again.
Right.
But yeah, those guys, they're pretty easy to predict, but when they reach a corner, you don't really know if they'll, like, flip on themselves or... I'm gonna go back and walk. They'll flip on themselves or they'll turn the corner. It's hard to tell at times.
Yeah.
So, back through here. Held up too early. We don't need to wait for this tile anymore. Go straight down. We need to kill all the enemies in this room. Thankfully there's one of those things in the middle, and we can just get the slimes to appear. Stun that wizrobe, and then make our way over to the next boss. Alright, so Facade is a face in the ground. You need to damage him with bombs. There is a pattern that you can do to pretty much get him every time. I'm not very good at that pattern. I can do like the first couple of steps and then I start panicking.
Right. There's some really interesting sort of boss design in this game. Like, this really takes advantage of the terrain.
So yeah, what's it? I think six bombs. And that should be it. As the after the first 3 for Cade will be in the middle, and then he'll move around to 6x6 areas on the ground.
Yep.
And then as in the last 3 hits, he will open up holes in the ground. So it's a bit of an annoying one. But yeah, that's our next dungeon down, and we've got a triangle. Okay,
Nice.
so...
A much better instrument than the wind chimes we got in the last dungeon.
Well, I mean, they do use wind chimes in an orchestra.
They do, you're right.
Oh yeah, that's right. Our friend the owl's back. We haven't seen him for a bit.
Right. While you're talking to the owl, I'll just read out a donation we've got real quick.
Sure.
We got $25 from Andrew, who says put this towards Yellow Spiral for Yellow Spyro for Drax run tomorrow. Not tomorrow, it's on Sunday. Anyway, whatever. I butchered that donation read, but thank you, Andrew, for the $25. And that brings us to a nice, even $7,600 raised so far for Beyond Blue during this marathon, which is just absolutely fantastic. Keep up the great work, chat.
Red slimes. Okay. So right now we're just having to go through this little puzzle here of reading signs. To get around here, to open up an area. You have to read them in order, otherwise it will tell you to restart.
Right. And you just have the order memorized, or are you actually reading the order?
I don't have it memorized. It's because you have to read it. You can just look at which way the next arrow says.
Fair.
It's not really hard to...
Yeah, reading isn't exactly too difficult.
Yeah. But there's... I guess I have memorized it slightly in terms of whereabouts I should be going.
Yeah, because these... there's no RNG here, right? These are the same...
No, it's all set. So it's
every
the same.
time.
It's the same pattern every time. So here's our froggy friend. He's going to give us the third song, but we have to pay him 300 rupees to get it. So that's what the 300 rupees were for. And I'll let you listen to this. So yeah, that's Frog's song. He's jamming away. Going to immediately disrespect him and play Mumbo's Mumbo in front of him. And warp straight back up to here.
It is interesting like, how they weave music sort of all throughout the whole game, right? Like you're collecting these instruments, you learn various songs at different points.
Chicken's in the way. So we're back in the village once more. This should be our last visit to the village. Move that rooster statue out the way so we can come in here. We've got the frog song now, so we can play it in front of these bones, and we can get a rooster from it.
Nice.
We've revived the rooster. That. So we'll teleport back to Dampe's grave. Or Dampe's shack, sorry. And we can make our way to D7 now.
Nice.
But not before our owl friend comes back and bothers us.
We are just smashing through these dungeons.
So, back up the same path that we took to get to Dungeon 4.
I really like the sort of density of world design, right? Like with a lot of these sort of semi-open world games, it can feel like you have to march such a long distance to get anywhere, but everything feels nice and close.
Yeah, like, we'll have to jump up this here first so we can grab Dungeon 7's key. So this is another little section where if you fall down, you'll fall down a level. Except instead of falling down a level, you fall back out onto the overworld, and that wastes a bunch of time. So good thing we didn't fall down there.
Yep.
You're not meant to jump around those rocks as I did. You're meant to more push them out the way and make yourself an easier path, but you can jump around the edge like that using the Pegasus boots. Right, so we can go further right here and make our way to the next dungeon. Okay, so here you can just I played Mumbo's Mumbo instead of the hook shot.
Whoopsies.
Why did I hit X again? Okay, so hook shot on. You can hook shot straight down there instead of having to go around. I played Mumbo's Mumbo twice, but I guess
It's just a good song.
if you don't play it, you can save time there. I unlocked that teleport because we're going to be coming back here. We're not completing Dungeon 7 in one sitting either.
Okay, so like Dungeon 4, we're gonna leave and come back.
Yeah, so we're going to do one major part of the dungeon first, and then we're gonna leave, and then we'll come back. And once we defeat Dungeon 7, I'll explain the reason why we do that.
Yeah, sure.
So, entering Dungeon 7 now. Jump around those. Grab ourselves a key. Let's go. It's out of our way.
So many keys.
And this ball here, you're meant to drop it and grab that thing, we can ignore it and just reset the room and just run straight through.
Clever.
So we have to use this ball to knock down 4 pillars in this dungeon.
I gotta wonder if some of those things are due to the fact that this is a remake of an old game and it's just was an existing problem, or if they just didn't really think about it as a game design problem that you could bypass puzzles like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never really thought of that. It's probably because it's the remake, but I guess they could have made
You
it
kind of
slightly
expect
different.
QA
Yeah.
to pick up something like that, right? Like,
Yeah. I guess
can
you
I
don't.
leave the room with the key item?
I guess you don't
Yes.
expect, people to grab the ball and then just leave the room to reset the room.
Mm.
Another tile room. This one we're not gonna go running around because there's a fire skull in here, so we just sit in the corner and shield everything. Now we can get back up here, push that block across, grab the ball, throw it across, and hit the pillar. I throw it into the corner of the block as well, so it doesn't go flying further upwards. So we can come back down here, hit that pillar. And then we want to throw it down there. Now we need to leave it with blue down, so that when we go back upstairs, we can head down. Alright, so there's the main item for this dungeon, the mirror shield. It doesn't really have too many uses in the game, but it does get a couple of uses. Well, I guess you also need it to get to Dungeon 8, but... Alright, here's another... Well, not another, but the mini-boss for this dungeon. Skull Kid and his little fly friends. We're just gonna take out his fly friends.
So what you're telling me is that he couldn't defeat you with the power of friendship.
Nah.
But video games for my entire life have told me that the power of friendship beats evil. Are we the bad guys?
Well, I mean... all these guys are living peacefully on this dream island until Link gets here.
Yeah, we walk into their home, rob their chests, and kill them. I think we're the bad guys here. Plus, we robbed the shop. Our name is Thief. Like, yeah, I'm now convinced that actually Link is the main villain of this game. That's why there's no clear antagonist. We are the antagonist.
That was not the right. Now those two are offset. Okay. These enemies, you need to hit them to get them on the same icon. I've now messed up a couple of times. Okay, come back here. That. Okay. Okay. So we need to get rid of those enemies so we can get that chest to spawn. And we need to throw this ball over that gap there. There's another Hinox here. Defeating him gets something to spawn. I don't remember what. We don't need to fight him.
Oh.
And we're in the same area as before. We can ignore everything. We need to come over and bomb that wall.
Speed straps, just run past the enemies.
Yep. And there's that chest we need to use to hookshot across, and there's the last pillar to destroy.
Now I'll ask you, because chat's been arguing about this for like the last 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any opinions on Wind Waker? Because chat is torn between Wind Waker is an amazing game and Wind Waker is terrible.
To be perfectly honest, I've never played Wind Waker.
Neither have I, which is why I asked you.
Alright. So yeah, I don't really know. But that's the end of the first part of Dungeon 7. So when I jumped off that cliff there was a hole underneath it. We hugged the left side. I don't want to... Damn it. I didn't want to pick that up, but whatever. Anyway, as I was saying, we hugged the left side so we don't fall down the hole. So we can stay up here, because we need to come back up here to get to Dungeon 8. That was a perfectly timed jump by that Tektite. Lovely. But the reason why we don't complete Dungeon 7 completely first is on that bridge there, once you defeat Dungeon 7, Marin will be stuck on that bridge for some reason, and you have to rescue her and then take her back to the village. So, we don't complete Dungeon 7. Marin
Yeah,
won't
that
spawn
sounds
there.
long. Like, let's just not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, if you don't spawn her, you can just go straight through.
So is there any real penalty for not completing Dungeon 7?
Nope.
We have to come back later, don't we?
Yeah, we'll have to come back later, so... The only reason why we stop first is so we can, get Marin not to spawn. So... Lovely. I need to now equip that. So this is one of the uses for the mirror shield, to get past that. I equipped bombs there. Need that there and that there now. Take those guys out first before we play the frog song again.
Nice.
Because this is going to open up Turtle Rock. But before we get into Turtle Rock, we need to kill the turtle, which we've revived.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. Sure.
So 3 bomb arrows will get rid of the shell. And then just need to wait for it to come over. Spin slash. You can spin slash it in the air.
Okay.
So if you jump and spin slash, you can hit it while it's got its head raised. It is a bit dangerous because you can still get hit while it's in the air. So I only do it if I've got enough health, if I haven't been reckless enough.
Yeah. We seem to have been pretty good on the health front for this entire run.
Yeah, I'd say generally.
Yeah, there was that one death, but we don't talk about that because we were just setting the RNG, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So this is more just sort of standard fare, move through the dungeon, hook shot across gaps.
Yeah, I need to reset that. I wasn't expecting that to go downwards, this is one of those puzzles you just need to fill the whole gap for the key to spawn.
Right. Actually pretty cool.
And then I don't want to reload the dungeon. I want to mumbo my way back to the entrance. So if you use mumbo inside the dungeon, it will walk back to the entrance. Kind of like save loading, loading the autosave, but when you load the autosave, it will reset any of the switches you've hit. So we want that switch that we hit earlier to stay in the state that it's in.
Right. Okay, now these gaps are full of lava and everything's very red and angry.
Yeah. I hit home instead of plus button. And I need to get more arrows. So we need to shoot that statue in the eye. And that one will drop. Key. I just defend that because it's just keeps it out of my way.
Yep.
Otherwise you can just walk around it really. I'm just gonna go up here and grab these arrows up here because I don't think I have enough.
Always better to be safe in a marathon setting.
Yeah. Here.
Plus, I'm pretty sure we're still super ahead of schedule, so no one's too concerned if you take your time.
Okay, now we're up to one of the mini bosses, which I generally have a lot of trouble with. This guy.
So you want a bit of focus time?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he punches you a lot, and I don't really have the best record with him.
Fair. He looks like a real boxing enemy.
Yep.
I wonder if the guy who did blindfolded Punch Out could do it. It's a great one run. You should check out the VOD if you get a chance.
But yeah, with that, we've got the magic rod. I'm not meant to go this way. We just powder him, we can get rid of him. Kill the enemies in that room, and we've got another Hinox to fight. Oh hey, throw bombs. Recently, this Hinox has been in a really grabby mood, so it's always been grabbing me. It's never thrown bombs for me in the last several runs that I've had, so bombs is a nice change.
It's that marathon luck, you know?
Yep. So, use the magic rod on the two torches. Grab another key.
So the magic rod shoots like a fireball or something?
It shoots a magic ball. It's not necessarily fire, but it will light things if.
Can I use it as a weapon?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So, the boss of this dungeon, as I guess it implies, in that you get the item in, is weak to. Kind of somewhat weak to the item.
Yeah. I mean, that's just good game design.
Yeah. So we've got our spider friend here again. Shoot an arrow there. I shot that arrow far too early.
I mean, I love the eyes on this guy. I don't know what it is about them, but they just get me.
arrows. And I need those 11 arrows for later. Because we're not going to be picking up any more arrows. So it's a good thing I noticed I only had 11 arrows left. Another one of these puzzles. They're really not that hard. There's multiple different ways you can complete these, and there's no real faster way of completing them. So this gets us our nightmare key, and we can make our way to the boss of this dungeon now.
Awesome. So this is Dungeon 8, right?
Yes.
I lost track at some point.
Yep, this is Dungeon 8.
It's good to know that after all this time, I can still count to 8. It's a difficult number. I'm not sure I could count to 9, but I can manage 8.
So this puzzle here is a little annoying. This one in particular, it took me a while to figure it out in my casual play, to figure out which ones I needed to melt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty simple in the end. But here's our last, well, not last, but Dungeon 8's boss, Hothead. It's a giant ball of metal in a pit of lava.
Right.
We shoot the magic rod at him.
He kind of reminds me of Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle. If you've ever seen that.
I have seen it, but I do not remember.
That's fair. He was the fire demon. Chat is asking if they can count to 8. Chat, you cannot count to 8. I'm not a mod, but I'm pretty sure the mods will crack down if you try and count to 8.
Okay. That's Hothead down. And Hothead tries to be sensible with you. Like, he tells you that you're in a dream by defeating them and waking up the windfish. You're ruining the lives for all of them.
Right.
But
I mean, we probably are. Like, we've established already that we're the bad guys.
yeah.
Thunder drums.
Yep.
Nice.
Got a set of drums now, and I equipped Mumbo's Mumbo before I picked it up, just so that I can warp straight away, because if you remember when we entered before I fought the turtle rock turtle, there was the two birds, wyverns, I don't know how to describe them, but they're there and they will attack you, so just equip it before they start attacking. But now we're warping back to Dungeon 7 and we're going to finish this off now.
Nice. Because we always finish what we start, don't we?
Yeah. So, Dungeon 7, we're gonna go straight into the warp, and we'll be going straight to the boss. Because, if you remember, that didn't lead there before. When we knocked down the pillars, a whole level dropped, so that now leads to different places.
Convenient. It's good game design, right? That, like, your actions have effects on the world.
Yeah. So now we've got our Skull Kid friend again, and he's gonna bring a bigger friend.
Nice. It kind of looks like
Who
something.
blows away the smaller friends?
Evil Eagle.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's evil. Or if that's just his name, right? Like,
Yeah.
first name Evil, last name Eagle.
Right, it's a nickname thought up by the Skull Kid.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if I had arrows, I would shoot him when he's flying in the higher levels, but I used up my arrows, so I can't do that.
Whoopsies.
Now, when he's flying in that middle layer, you can jump and attack him. And when he's doing this attack, the wind blows you off. There we go. So we'd rather him do this attack so we can get multiple hits on him. We don't want him to blow wind because that just wastes time. And walked into that feather. And we don't want him to fly up the top.
Right. And it's just the RNG what pattern he gives you.
Yeah, that's all RNG. It's annoying, but not much we can do. Now, I skip this one. Because I've got 9 hearts. I don't need any more. So we're gonna go grab our little piano or organ.
We're getting quite the band together.
Mm-hmm.
Chat's telling us that in the original game, in that boss fight, if you got pushed off the edge, the battle would reset.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, according to chat, I don't know how much you can trust them. They're pretty shifty.
Right.
They've only given $7,600 to Beyond Blue, right?
Only? Jeez.
Yeah. If chat gave more money, maybe I could trust them some more.
So after beating D7 there, we fell down that hole that we stayed to the left of before. That brings us straight down to Dungeon 4, which will be our last dungeon to complete. So we're going to go into the warp. This will take us back to where that mini-boss was, and come over here. Now, how did I end up on the correct seed? So that pattern is determined by the seed.
Right, which is what
Because
we
which-
reset for at the start of the
Yes,
game.
which is
Right.
what we manipulated at the start. And what I was worried about, given that I didn't exactly start on time, because I wasn't on the right menu to start. But
Right.
seems to be all be good.
Well, that's
Should
good.
All be good. We'll come over here. There's the boss door. We're gonna blow up that pot. And we're gonna just jump over that.
Nice.
That's the other sequence break that we use. That's completely glitchless.
Yep. Because we're just using the mechanics
Yeah.
as they're designed in the game.
And now we've got our fish friend.
Now remember, fish are friends, not food.
I'm trying to hit him up as well.
Right. So he's not just stuck in the corner, or?
Generally because if I hit him up, then when he dies, I'll be further up. Because swimming is
right.
slow.
Yes, of course. Water levels are always slow.
Yeah. And the heart
Unfortunately,
container appears at the bottom, so we're just going to ignore that.
Right. We have enough hearts.
Yep. I was meant to dash up there. What? Mumbo. Okay. So that's dungeon 4
Ooh, a heart.
completed.
Cool. Everyone knows that of the 8 dungeons, dungeon 4 is the final dungeon.
Yep.
I assume it's the final dungeon.
Alright, so with that done, we can go finish the game now.
I just looked and I just saw egg.
Yep.
The egg on the mountain calls.
Yep. We're
Whatever
going
that
to go
means.
open up that last bit of map there.
Clearly it means that if you have an egg emote, you should put it in chat.
Especially if it's a Yoshi egg. So we
The best I can do is a thank egg.
come up here. Our friend is going to bother us once more. So yeah, as I said before, with beating Dungeon 4, that a ghost appears and bothers us. If we go from Dungeon 4 straight to the Wind Egg, it doesn't bother us. So,
Fair.
that's why we do it last. If we went back to town, it would come and bother us. So, you can't go and heal, you can't go stock up on anything, you have to go straight to the Wind Egg.
Yep.
And then you have to go through this side quest and a whole bunch of stuff to get rid of the ghost, which is annoying. But here's our little band of instruments.
We successfully got the band back together.
Yeah. With you as the lead singer, ocarina player.
Yeah. So I just had this sudden thought of the Legend of Zelda cross Blues Brothers, you know? That'd be a game I'd love to play.
Well, they've got the horn there.
Yeah. They could do it.
Yeah. Alright. Now, our friend's going to bother us once more.
Give us exposition.
Yeah. And this is going to be the windfish egg. So, the path in here, normally you need to... I was meant to go left.
Oopsies.
Wait, no, I meant to go right. What am I doing? Looking at the wrong thing. Right, one. So, again, the path is determined by the seed. So, when we know what seed we're on, we can take a predetermined path. Up, left, left, up. That was not right, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. There we go. Okay. Oh, I was worried for a second. Okay.
Okay, you got this.
Alright, so here's the final boss. This is made up of 6 stages.
Right.
The first stage is just a blob. First one always appears in the top, and then it will appear around. You just use the powder to get rid of it. Second enemy is my favorite enemy from Link to the Past, Aghanim. First attack there is always a red ball that we can deflect back, and then it's 50-50 on if it's a blue ball or a red ball after that. Obviously we want red ball.
Is that because red's just a cooler color?
No, because we can't attack him with the blue one.
Fair. I swear I was paying attention.
One more hit. There we go. Next up will be our friend from the start. Hold on. After Moldorm comes Ganon. We'll do 2 spin slashes there, and then I'll... Oh, bugger. I messed up. I was meant to dash through his... there, and... Okay, there we go. I was meant to dash through his spear before, and that would have been enough to kill. Okay. I have to redo that because I wasn't expecting Lamolder to appear from the right. Okay.
Oh well.
We'll have to go through the egg again. So... right 4 times. Up once. Left. Left. Up. Okay. Hopefully, I don't mess up.
You've got this. I believe in you. It's a bit of a shame, though, that when you die, they warp you back to the start of the dungeon.
Yeah. But if we know the path, it's just a matter of seconds before we get back.
Yeah, it's just time loss. There's no, like, skill.
Yeah. The only annoyance is that we have to rely on Aghanim RNG again.
Well, yeah. But I believe.
I guess I'll explain my timing for Aghanim here. I watch his hands and they rotate 3 times, so after the third one I'll jump and slash. On that timing, it allows me to jump over the blue balls, but when I slash, I can also hit the red ones back. Moldorm again. There we go. That's how I meant to do it.
There we go.
Dodge the fire bat. Molar. Alright, and now we're up to the last stage.
Nice.
Dodge that. So it takes 10 arrows to the eye.
Yep. And is there anything else after we fight this final boss?
There'll be just a bit of text, and then time will be when the screen goes blank.
Cool. I'll have to have you call it out because I've only
Yeah,
got
I'll
the
call
stream
time.
delay. Easy.
Okay,
It seems
so
like a
that's-
pretty interesting platforming challenge right here at the end.
Yeah.
With his sweepy arms. In a game that doesn't seem to be very platforming intensive.
So time will be coming up in a sec as I climb these stairs. Time.
Cool. Awesome. Great run, mate. Good job.
Ugh. Oh,
So do you have any sort of last minute shout outs before we throw it back?
not really. Support Beyond Blue. They're a great organization. I've used their material in the past to help me through some depression previously. So yeah, it would be great if everyone can get behind their back and support them.
Yeah. No worries. Good stuff. Thank you.